Hello and welcome back to Affirmation Art Journaling number 25. I hope those of you who have been following along have been enjoying and creating, and those of you who are just found the channel, there's 25 other videos to watch and plenty more. So I have I think I have 100, this will be 129. So, affirmation number 25 is I am a creative and resourceful artist. I am a creative and resourceful artist. And especially when we have technology and all of these tools at our fingertips, it's just a matter of time and process getting to know how to use them in our own unique way. So the colors for this page are the yellow ochre, the unbleached titanium, the manganese blue that you just saw, cadmium orange, teal, Payne's gray, Mars black, and that transparent mixing white. And this is the little piece that I believe was a collage that I ended up not liking. And you can slice them up and use them as other collage. It's like your collage within your collage. And that goes with the type of concept that I'm exploring right now. The interrelations of, or the relationships, I don't even know what the right word is, but the mixing up of reality, virtual, memory, and all of that combined together, in and out, and all these layers. Another way to call it is layers of life forces. So that is a whole other series that I have 10 paintings of that I will be sharing, especially when I finish off with the two larger ones. But this intention was okay. Yesterday I started off with, see, that's another thing. Writing down, okay, what was my first layer? Even though I have all these colors, I see and really enjoying the mixing of raw umber, unbleached titanium, and the yellow ochres. But today, I decided, okay, I really want to just start with all these blues in different areas because I'm trying to let shapes sort of develop, like these, the turquoise and then a blue one underneath, and then changing the values and the saturation, moving around the whole substrate, and then going in with some different areas or fields of color. So, and I know there's probably, and I know from other art journaling pages, I've started with the actual color fields in different colors. But I really think there's more to explore when you're starting off with super bright colors and then covering everything up one layer at a time, but just letting different areas remain exposed. And that's the fun thing. So, really enjoying the teal, manganese, and Payne's gray. That's all the blues. I want to keep the blues simpler. Now, Payne's gray is a little more toward the red. Teal, of course, the other way. And so you're mixing your cool and your warm. So, and as you can see, the collage papers, I have a bunch of blues and neutrals and oranges and yellow ochres. And of course, black and white. Don't know how it's going to go. I find I'm getting into more without just not even planning a thing. Because I didn't want, now I know yesterday's page, I felt it resembled another artist that I absolutely love, but it had a lot of my own marks. Today, I wanted just to use these colors because they're one of my favorite palettes, exploring different blues along with them. There's cerulean and there's cobalt blue that I have yet to explore in combination. So using the hexagons, I was going to use circles and just different ways of layering a dark on a light. You can go light on a dark and then flip it. There's so many combinations, and that's what I keep talking about. And the more we try different things, the more of a repertoire, because now at the end, if you're following along, and you probably already have a ton of journals or sketchbooks with things that you really love, and really writing those notes in keeping just what was first, what's underneath there. I forget what's underneath there. So you just keep a little note, but yet I have my videos. So, but we don't all have time for all of this. I'm doing this because this is a thing that I've wanted to do for full time. So this is my dream job. So here we go. This is this collage piece that is just full of colors of this palette that I've layered on. It's the newsprint paper that I rolled on with leftover paint from a palette with my brayer. And for a while I was just keeping it on the side, and I know other artists do that, and whatever's left over, you just roll it on, roll it on, roll it on, and you just don't even care. And wow, some of the combinations that turn out are amazing. So I decided to put quite a large rectilinear shape on the right-hand side, knowing that, so it gets covered, a lot of it gets covered, which is really cool. And it just develops from there, from the upper part becoming a lot of blue to the neutral. So it's the opposite of yesterday's page, blue to neutral, where yesterday was neutral to more airy blue up at the top. And I ended up with 5 areas of color. So, so knowing that the dark and just a little piece peeps out at the end. So stay to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have been watching, even though we were up to 25, please remember to hit the like button every time you watch one of my videos, because it really does help the algorithm. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe and check out my Facebook group, Abstract Art Journaling. And there's lots of really cool sharing going on. So, didn't want to do the same thing again, so I remembered I did this. Could have went darker, chose lighter. Just because I didn't want it, I wanted subtlety. That's the reason. And then from yesterday's leftover paint, I made a whole bunch of newsprint collage rolling. That was just stamping the palette there on the right after I've rolled everything out, and going for one more press, and some of the best colors and shapes, odd shapes, have turned out. So using that one and just tearing, just having fun. I want this to be fast. I don't want to think. I just want to react. Finding a spot. Now it's interesting that I chose the lower where the higher contrast is versus that upper area. Maybe it was too large. I could have torn it down a bit more, but I chose the lower area to lighten it up, or to cover. Who knows? Maybe I'm not quite happy. It just felt good. It just felt right. And I end up lightening up this whole lower area anyway. The dark didn't work for this particular page. I don't know if it's just the feeling. It just didn't work. And I use collage in the lower areas, and the whole thing develops. When I change one thing, then something else, so it affects something else, and it just keeps going, one thing at a time. Now, I chose those colors from the piece of collage paper, which was sort of a peachy orange, and that's why I chose to put the cadmium orange hue in my palette. I don't know if it works. It doesn't work. That part ends up being covered, but I know I want that color in there somehow. And I love balancing the left with the heavy, heavy, strong right, and I end up putting some really interesting collage on the right-hand side. Once I cover that big square, it just needed that unbleached titanium. I think what was going on is that there were so many things in blue, different layers, and it was a bit of a jumble. It was too much, and it needed a nice opaque quieting down. So, and then of course coming towards more of a yellow ochre, but you'll see that in a moment. So I love this. This is the deli paper with the sort of a nice peachy pink color on it. So it's already there, so I thought, well, let's add some more of that, but in a different way, in collage. And I love doing that, putting the same tones or values, but in different forms. So I love playing with, even with an image, and then making it with paint similar, or the feeling, and side by side, and you can't really tell which is the line. Where is the line of difference? Where is the real and the non-real? So sort of that's what I'm playing with. I get into more of that away from this, because I'm just focusing on play and color and the affirmation, and just not too heavy. And actually getting a little antsy in carving out some time, which I am on the side, but I can't wait to start the journey of 3 paintings. So that'll be next. All right, so this beautiful ochre orangey, it really stands out, but I just love how it complements the blue above. Just bam. So I end up changing that around a little bit, but it stays there. The scale is a little large, so I shrink it down, and there's that nice transparent handcrafted paper. Yes, love that. And I like it right there, just because it just covers up a little bit of that orangey peach, which seems a little out of place, but not for long, because we know we can always just turn it into a layer. I'm liking the looseness of this piece. And it's still me, but the format is a little different. Nice. Oh, and this paper too was also made with the brayer, leftover paint, and I'm finding the nice neutral shade of the newsprint paper just is so perfect. Because when you put a lighter color on it, it's just that beautiful mid-tone. And the harsh black and white just didn't seem to cut it for this particular piece. More of a unbleached titanium and black. Okay, so I guess, oh yeah, I'm searching. I needed something up there. I didn't want anything too contrast, so I go for collage rather than paint most of the time. Most of the time. No, it doesn't look good. So we have this alignment thing going on the right. And it's interesting because I'm looking at that one little shape above that angled peach line where it's sort of out of alignment, and I'm wondering, I wonder why I placed it there when I have some things vertical, I usually have them line up because it helps the eye, but this time it's just a little off, and I think I like it. I like the contrast of the teal and the orange on that larger, odd, organic shape in the lower left. And I'm really enjoying getting pastels and different colors in the painting as well. I was looking for a really lighter orange, but I don't have one, and those twisty crayons that are very waxy don't seem to work. They don't make a mark. They're just too hard on the acrylic. They're great on paper, which I need to do first probably. Make a whole bunch of scribbly lines of different colors and use those as collage pieces. I think I'll do that. I'm gonna make a note of it. Okay. It's just not of the same color, so no. My expressive hand movements. No. So you'll find this video, I think it's over 30 minutes. I find my videos of this series are getting longer rather than shorter. I find that odd. But I guess that's the more I'm tunneling into my pages. But this one I had trouble looking for the perfect piece or deciding on what I want.
I don't like those.
And then all of a sudden I make a move. I don't know if it's coming up. I realize, oh no, every pattern that I went to put on the page to see, I love this, but it doesn't work for this page. That is just newsprint with the inexpensive craft paint, which is great because it's very matte, it's very flat, and just rolled with a brayer. And the most amazing shapes. So I love this piece, but it's not for this one. Too much blue. We'll wait for more of an ochre, neutral, black and white page. So maybe that'll come up. Maybe this video will inspire tomorrow's. So there's an interesting piece.
No, it just needs a texture.
But it just needs line or something, or it needs a whole different. So I think, okay, let's just obliterate the top with a piece of collage. That's okay. But it isn't the color I want, which I end up with unbleached titanium. So I'm just wondering when, because when you're busy working, you don't pay attention. I'm just tunneling in now. Then I looked at the clock and I thought, wow, I better wrap this up. The bottom needed it desperately. The dark heaviness, it just needed to be lightened up. So then I realized, okay, I'll put that down there, and then I can change the background around those collage pieces and even create with a very opaque layer. You can use a transparent layer, an opaque layer. I wanted one to cover totally and go around those shapes that was similar but not the same to the piece of collage I'm putting at the bottom now. And different blues side by side, are so amazing, especially your manganese, your teal, your turquoise, all of those together with different saturations are amazing. So especially if they have similar value and they're in a large area together and their values are the same. And so then the composition remains intact, but yet you've got that's the loud conversation, and then the quiet conversation is the subtlety between the coolness and warmth of the different blues, the different hues. I think that's what attracts me to using blue or monochromatic work. And it's the simplicity, because that's what I'm going for. Oh, okay. All right, here we go. So I make this gaudy, or I don't know, it's circles. So I shouldn't be so, let's not be harsh. That isn't true. So I don't know what to do with it. So it's like, okay, why did I do that? Don't know. I just needed something else. So I just did anything. It doesn't matter. So, yeah. I love it. So I thought, okay, if I cover it up, now it looks like a hat. Now it looks like I'm covering it up. So then I start lightening up using this transparent mixing white, which we know now is so thin. When you squeeze it out, it looks opaque to me. But as soon as you put it on, it does amazing things. So then I switch to, and of course I didn't let it dry, so it doesn't matter. So I'm just smoothing all that out. And then making sure your layer is dry as well. So before you start covering it up. All right, so, okay. So going for a peachiness, right? Okay. Added a little blue to just to mix it up. And then I realize, oh, okay. Let's just make a color field of unbleached titanium. And then now I have all these, notice these color fields are all the same width going up. They're just so the same. That doesn't work. It needs to be different. So the higher I go, the lighter I go, I see that it works. So, and I'm gonna just keep on going, and then of course scoring it through, and then you can brush it over to hide some of that stuff, just really quickly while the paint's still wet. And making sure I pick from a nice clean unbleached titanium. Then I realized, nope, keep on going. The wider the better, because it's so different. The top is so much larger than all of those shapes on the bottom. So it is the 1, 2, 3. It's the fourth section from the bottom, and then the fifth section is a very narrow band on the top. That's what I end up doing. So please, if you're watching, stay till the end, because it really does change. It just finally comes together, and I love that. I understand that, what was it, 2 videos ago, that really bright, incredible color combination that I chose with the magenta, quinacridone magenta and everything, and I started with the black in the upper left-hand corner, and I guess some of you were a little, it was scary. So, but we just kept pushing through one layer at a time. All right. So then I realized, okay, that isn't going to work, but I noticed that same value, keep going, but just keep using the paint, is going to work. Oh gosh. It is, but it needs to be more. Less blue. Too much blue. Oh, there I go. There I'm counting again. All right. Did I even put it on the bottom yet? Oh, okay. Now I'm putting it on the bottom. Okay. You see, when I'm doing my voiceover in the video, the recording and stop is this great big black rectangle, which covers the bottom page of my page. So I have to sort of look at the sides and guess as to what I'm doing. Which is, okay, here comes the opaque titanium white, or more opaque. I know there's zinc white. I forget which one is more opaque. If you know, please leave a comment. Look at that. You see? Look at the change. Now, now we're getting excited. And I realize, nope, that white needs to be way up there. I need more opaque, unbleached titanium in this whole area, and to come all the way down and around the shapes. And I do make a soft edge between the upper, very narrow, light shape. And then I even realize that blue stuff underneath there, it needs to be quieted down. So give me a few minutes here. It does come together because I'm looking at it right now. But instead of leaving it unbleached titanium in the bottom, I gradate a yellow ochre into it. So I increase the saturation as I move down. So the best way is to start with the higher saturation on the bottom and then go up and fade out. And then there's your gradation. Gradation can be in value or hue, or texture. All right. So I knew that's what was going on. The top color field, or the color area, was too much the same size as the bottom one. So it was like a sandwich, so no, that wasn't working. And then as soon as I put more of this beautiful orangey ochre in, bam, that blue below it pops and playing. And I mostly, I have a good idea, mostly, but I love mixing right on the page or right on the, but to be a little more, if you want to be a little more certain, it's really good to pre-mix a little bit and then hold your brush right next to make sure you have the value right. And then I realize there's way too much stuff down there, and I'm really liking the playing of the value of this blue with the value of the unbleached titanium with a little ochre in it. So now what's happening? I'm creating some quiet space, and that's what the page needed. And that little spot that I just finished with the teal, I end up adjusting because it's a little too strong. And anywhere where your eye stays, just make sure it can hold it and then move around. So that piece of pink, it stays. It does dry darker. So it's and anything that's not quite right, don't forget, there's also a whole thing of staining that I'm not using enough. I'm using it in my little 6.5 by 6.5 squares, and I'll do a little demo with that. So then realizing that the line between the two needs a little bit more distinction, and still not finished with that upper area, and it does dry darker. So as I see this page in front of me, the values between the edge between those two is a little more subtle. They're closer together. And of course, I do my circles along the top in the off-white, which just add perfect. So now I'm playing at the bottom, and I realize that I need to bring some of that neutral down, because you're staying up there. And I just love, as you can see, old books, the pages, blanks, the scraps, anything, it doesn't matter. So I put that long, I don't have a long, narrow rectangle, and then cut it up and break it up as I go. And I usually go larger, smaller, smaller, and especially when I'm doing it horizontally at the bottom. And then here comes those wonderful little circles with my copper pipe. Oh, and I would love to hear the different things around the house, objects, items that anyone has turned into a fabulous mark making tool for their latest pages. It's always interesting to hear what we turn into mark making tools. So now, so I can see that the shape inside the blue at the lower right and that upper shape are a little too similar, but I add a few more things on top of that upper one, the one that is in the orange, and it does change it around. Yeah, happy with that. I think it's a little orange circle or a sphere, a circular, and then a black on a neutral background. I think I might have grabbed that little black circle on the neutral background and glued it in at the end. But trying to decide, see how the eye, it's so strong. So right now I'm making it stronger. More saturated. So the eye, so it's like a great big flashlight. So I thought, okay, well, let's put a little orange over here. Put that there. Nope, way too strong. Totally too strong, but I glue it there anyway. And then I cover it with some unbleached titanium, just with my finger, after it dries. And I know that, I do it right away. Okay, cool. Yes. And those are the twisty crayons. They're so waxy and hard, the acrylic can't pick it up. So just enjoying the pastel work. You can come in, make line, you can push things back just a little bit more at the end. And I'm still looking at that orange rectilinear shape. And then I end up, I think that's a white pastel. And then I use some pencil. Still missing something right in there. And of course those, I love my little marks. And some pencil line. See, now your eye, and now those circles show up. It's amazing. These subtle changes. Yes. So bringing out the blue and doing, see that little pattern. So it got too quiet. Now you're adding some more. Oh yeah. So really enjoyed this piece, but wait, there's one more thing. Now, I do a little spatter, and I chose white this time, not black. And I'm glad I did, because it's just so subtle. Could have used ochre. That would have worked, and especially balancing the strong orange rectangle with just a dash of orange on the top below the white circles. That might have worked. Or it might have just been too much orange. So it's hard to say. But that was the choice in the end. And whoa, way too strong. So what I end up doing, and then I tried, nope, too much of a contrast. So that isn't working. So I end up just painting over a little bit, and I noticed this collage on the left there. And let's see what I do with it. Okay, I don't think I did anything with that. Yes, I used that blue. So, just enough to push it. It almost looks like something on the side, just out of the you know, yes, so I know that worked. And I see that, and I don't want them to be exactly the same. So it was cooler. I know I added the Payne's Gray there. And then I end up just putting that paper right on the paint while it was wet. And I love it. So it could be something. And that was a bit of a pink pastel that, from the peachiness was just near it. Oh, so we're drying it off. So enjoyed this page. I hope you did. And if you notice, anything different, or if you're liking what's going on, if you want more, but I will be giving you more. So making sure that the tape is heated up enough, and of course that I've scored any collage on the side. There's a lot of paint on this page this time, a lot more. And it does affect what's above it, especially when you start with dark. You start with a dark underlayer. But sometimes I just like that white, and I like to leave some of the canvas showing or the paper showing. And I think that's what attracted me to watercolor. But right now, if I were to try watercolor, I would just love abstract watercolor. Just intuitive, and just let the colors blend. And maybe I will end up trying some watercolor one day, but not until I get a lot more comfortable with collage and acrylics. Oh, that piece is still so attractive. So here we are. Affirmation number 25. I am a creative, unique, and resourceful artist. So don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this affirmation art journaling page, and I will see you in the next video.